Welcome to the Never Yield podcast. Today is Tuesday, September the 16th, and the Hogs are 2-1 after losing in the most on-brand Razorback way possible to Ole Miss, 41-35 Saturday night. Sam Pittman falls to an abysmal 7-18 in one-score games as a head coach of the University of Arkansas. And I'm just going to summarize this to you in the simplest terms possible. The Arkansas Razorback defense is worse than what we thought. They got taken to the woodshed by a backup quarterback that played Division II last year and a quarterback with one leg. We got problems. Andrew, how was your weekend?
Yes, that pretty much summed it up. Yeah, that was bad to watch. Offense was exciting.
Entertaining.
If you had no dog in the fight, it would have been a super fun game to watch. But as always, it's stressful, and you're really disappointed in the defense today.
I mean, how does this keep happening? Same new year, same story.
Yep.
New personnel, new players, same story. Make it make sense.
Yep. My dad texted me during the game. It was just like, new defensive players, same results. And I was just like, yep, that's I don't know how to there's really no words for it, honestly. I've heard some of the like former players talking, saying that it's some of the worst tape that they've seen from a defense at the University of Arkansas ever. And that's saying a lot when you had 2 years of Chad Morris. So yeah, I don't know. I'll just say it right now that this is a 4-win defense from what I saw on Saturday. That's You're not going to win too many games. Tennessee their offense looks electric. They may hang 80 on us in Knoxville if we don't figure something out between now and then. We got 3-4 weeks with a bye week in there. So yeah, if we don't figure some things out, it's not going to be a fun year. So
yeah, we got a lot to cover today, obviously. We're going to talk about the defense, the offense, the game, some of the drama happening, some reports of things happening behind the scenes. It's just, so it goes back to what we talked about in the preseason, Andrew. Like, when I was going through my concerns with the secondary, especially, I specifically said on the very first podcast, I'm concerned because we've got a bunch of guys out of the portal that had either lost their job at where they were at or were part-time players anyway, 5, 6 stars at their previous school. And now we're throwing them into the SEC as starting, DBs and safeties and nickels. And that concerned me from the start. And it reared its ugly head. I don't think you could have drew up a better scenario for the Hogs to have a backup quarterback that played Division II football last year. Now, he was impressive. I don't know how much of that was us and how much of that was him. He was electric. But it's still a fact that he was a backup quarterback that played Division II football last year. And I would be curious to go back and look at his numbers at Ferris State and see how many times he led offenses to 41 points or against Division II defenses, or if it's just against the Hogs.
Yeah. Well, he apparently won the national championship.
He won the Natty. Yeah, they won the Natty.
And I heard an interview last week with Harding's head football coach. His name escapes me. But he was like, this dude can ball. Like, he was like, if he gets to start some games, he may not give the keys back over to Simmons. So he had really high praise for him. So that, I don't know if that makes you feel any better, but still,
no.
These two quarterback in their first SEC start, throwing for 350, however many yards it was, and just lighting you up like it was high school out there. So
yeah. Well, and what's frustrating is, first of all, I like T. Will. I think Travis Williams is a good defensive coordinator. I think he's an SEC level coordinator. There's been moments where we've gotten burnt since he's been here, but overall, I think he does a good job. The deal is, though, is you knew there was a possibility of this kid starting all week.
Mhm.
and you had his film from the Kentucky game where I forgot how many snaps he played. It was several. He did not attempt a pass. And you have to assume, that they're going to ease him into this game. Lane Kiffin is. And the
Mhm.
first possession of the game, they threw 0 passes more than 3 yards down the field until
Yep.
they got to that 4th down and we got that PI in the end zone. They
Mhm.
were just running it. They were throwing screen passes, swings, getting outside, horizontal, left to right, sideline to sideline. And they didn't even think about throwing the ball across the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And we're sitting there in quicksand. I mean, we look slow. Not only did we look out of position and lost schematically, we looked like not SEC athletes on defense.
No. No. How many plays we had a text thread going during the game? Like how many plays did we have a guy not within 5, sometimes 10 yards of a guy?
Yeah.
The
Well, and
touchdown we
I was talking to a friend this morning or this afternoon. I was talking to a buddy about it, and I said it's not like they were dotting passes in traffic, where they were going up and mossing us and making plays. Like they were throwing to people just wide open,
Yeah.
and we would bring pressure. We'd blitz, which we need to blitz because our D line can't get any pressure, and then they would just throw the fade route over and over, and it'd either be a penalty or a catch, a penalty, holding, and it was just, I mean, I knew what was coming before the ball was snapped.
Mhm.
I mean, it was obvious. You knew when we load the box, they were throwing the go ball,
Yep.
and we could do nothing about it.
No.
And Lane Kiffin is he's an offensive guru. He's one of the best in the game. I get it, but it's just frustrating whenever you felt like there was a golden opportunity, backup quarterback, your offense is clicking on all cylinders all game,
Mhm.
and secondary is just, we'll get into it in a minute. It's just they're not very good, I guess, and schematically they're lost. It's a combination of both, I think.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it's been Ole Miss the last couple of years. So we just can't figure it out. I mean, we didn't have another defensive game as bad as the Ole Miss game by far last year. And I mean, we had some other not great performances, but nothing near as bad as the Ole Miss game. And this year, same thing. It's your first real test of the year, and I mean, you did worse than laying egg on defense. I mean, I don't even have words for how
Yeah.
bad and how miserable it was trying to watch them defend this offense.
And it's just you keep hearing, well, I mean, I've heard 3 times today, NIL, NIL, we don't have money. Well, we found players on offense,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta find them on both sides of the ball. I
Well, we're paying
understand you
these
make
guys on defense. We're paying for these results. We went out and our 2 biggest focus was, or I guess our 3 biggest focuses were offensive line, wide receivers, we had none coming back, and defensive backs. So we went out and paid these guys, found these guys, you know. Now whether we went out with our Walmart budget, save money, live better that he talked about last year, while everybody else has got Louis Vuitton. Uh, yeah, it's whatever we're paying, they need to Madden I'm Aliva and pay us back some of that because those results were terrible, terrible. If I
yeah,
can quote Charles Barkley.
just going back to the beginning of the game, first play, Bobby's got a beautiful play action drawn up, and we dump it for 30 yards, and, we move the ball down to what, inside the 40.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't have a problem with the going for the field goal. I just feel like when you're on the road and you get the ball first, what would Lane Kiffin have done right there on 4th and 2? He's going
Oh
for
yeah.
it,
Well, and
It's
it's not even that only that we got the ball first. We chose to get the ball first. We won the
mhm,
toss, elected to get the ball first. And yeah, there two big missed opportunities was that. I mean, obviously if you make the field goal, nobody's upset about it. Hindsight's 2020. You make that field goal, people aren't as upset, but that's a momentum thing. And especially about to hand over the ball to a guy who's never started a game in the SEC to have to be like, dang, I'm already down 7
mhm,
nothing. Uh,
exactly.
that's an opportunity to kind of set the tone. The second one, was you got, I think, two defensive stops all day. One was the Ole Miss's opening drive in the second half. You
Then the
you
last one.
finally get a stop. You're down what, 3 at that point. You get a stop. Go down and drive the field. We go 3 and out. Like, those are two huge opportunities missed. And I know everybody's making adjustments, but like, come on, like, opening drive, and then you get a stop. Let's get the momentum back on our side. Ole Miss kind of took the momentum going into the half. Those were two huge missed opportunities. I feel like in this game was the
Yeah.
opening drive, not going for it on 4th and 2, when electing to receive the ball, and then not taking advantage of your first defensive stop, and not, you know, trying to put the
Doing the scoring.
yeah,
Well, yeah, hindsight is 2020, but I'm telling you, even if we make the field goal, you don't shut the crowd up. And the
right,
reason you take the ball on the road is to shut the crowd up right away.
yep,
And I just feel like, hey, we're not here to nickel and like we're here to score touchdowns on the first drive. You know, you got what we think maybe the best quarterback in the SEC, the way it's looking.
yep,
Like, let him go make a play. And so, yeah, so that turned the whole tide right away. Didn't love that. And then, it just I thought Talon did almost everything he could possibly do. I mean, he backpacked us. I said it on the pod Friday. I think Talon's good enough to have a good game. Can he take us down the field late in the game when we're down and go win the game? That's what I
mm,
said I wanted to see on Friday's pod.
yep,
And he did it. I mean, he did all he could do. He's
yep,
not the one who fumbled it late.
right,
And I just feel like he's so dynamic. I mean, he may be the most dynamic quarterback we've ever had. Not the best, but the most dynamic. I mean, he is. I mean, he's got shades of Matt Jones all over him.
yeah.
And
That's why I turned my head. I was like, easy there. You're talking to the big
yeah,
Bulls fan, the
I
biggest
mean,
Matt
he
guy.
was he was the first quarterback in Razorback history to throw for 300 and run for 100 in a
Yep.
game.
I was actually surprised
And
to see that stat. I almost, which, yeah, in Matt's day, we weren't throwing it all over the field like we are now. So, but I was almost a little surprised at that stat. Even some of KJ's days, I thought KJ might have had one of those. So, but
mhm. I mean, he
yeah,
leads the nation. He leads the nation in total offense right now.
yeah,
The whole leads a nation. So I mean,
yeah,
he's unbelievable, and you give credit to him for the work he's put in. Bobby, obviously, for developing him,
yeah,
and we still, I thought Ole Miss's defense was pretty good. They held Kentucky to 20. Josh and Justin both were really high on their defense this year when we had them on the pod last week.
yeah,
Now, they didn't look great, but was that because are we really that high powered? I don't know.
yeah. Well, you definitely saw. I think a couple takeaways is the offensive line is for sure better this year. I think that's
Oh
a
yeah,
SEC offensive line. Was really happy with them. And then another big question mark was the receivers room, and I think they're stepping up and making plays. I mean, outside of the fumble, he had a great game up until that point. So it's just hang on to the ball, Petey. Like, you can't do it in that
can't do it.
moment. But
Can't do it.
but
And I don't
yeah,
I don't want to harp on this too much, but what's your thoughts, your honest opinions, and how much stock do you put into Sam being 7-18 in one score games? I mean, obviously he's not the one who fumbled the ball late, but there's a 6-year track record now of us not finishing in when we're in these situations. Just kind of before I dive into my thoughts, what's your read on that?
yeah. I mean, the common denominator is Sam. I mean, you can't fault. I mean, it's not his fault that in years past we've thrown picks or fumbles, or uh, the COVID year, Bo Nix doing a backward spike and us not getting the call. So I mean, there's been some weird things that have led up to this record being what it is. But at the end of the day, you're paid to win games, and you have the job to win games and finding a way to win those games. And I saw a side by side thing where it had Sam at 7-18, and then our favorite guy Eli at Missouri is like 8 or 9-1 in one score games. And so I'm like, other teams are figuring it out. I mean, there's everything. Football is, it comes down to what's the famous Al Pacino speech? Like it's a game of inches, and those inches come down to decision making. I mean, you could almost fault the stupid timeout that we called on offense in the fourth quarter, where we could have used that timeout to try to get one more possession there at the end. There's been some of those decisions, and that I guarantee that wasn't Bobby's decision to kick the field goal in the opening drive too. So yeah, I mean, he's the common denominator in all of it. Being here for 6 years, there's been a lot of staff turnover, player turnover, and there's, again, like I said, some weird things happen. He's not on the field doing it, but yeah, I think it all ties in together, whether it's decision making or dude, last year we had 22 fumbles. Like, spend the entire offseason just hanging on to the ball. Like, I don't know. Figure that stuff out. Like, it he's not on the field doing it, but at some point it does fall back on you. And so, yeah, I mean, it can't
I
all be
mean,
on him, and
so
it's not all not on him either.
some people, the way I look at it is it's a culture thing. Some people are winners and some people aren't. That
Yep.
doesn't mean you're not a good guy. That doesn't mean you're not a good coach.
Mhm.
But some people are winners, and
Yep.
that bleeds into your building, bleeds into your coaching staff, bleeds into your players. Like, there's just not really an explanation for it.
Mhm.
Because like you said, Sam's not, Cam Little missing the field goal that Jerry's rolled a couple years ago against A&M. I
Yep.
mean, went over the top of the upright. Freaky things like that happen. The fumble Saturday night, but it keeps happening over and over.
Mhm.
And that's 7-18. That's 25 one score games we've had. I would think a minimum of 12-13 or 13-12. You want to be at least 500 in those
Right.
opportunities. And if
Absolutely.
you really are a good coach, you need to be, maybe not flipping it, be 18-7, but 15-10,
Yeah.
for the elite coaches. And there's some things in coaching and sports that are not analytical that you can't put your finger on,
Mhm.
and that's one of them. But like you said, it's a common denominator and it keeps happening, and it's really, really getting old, and it's really,
Mhm.
really frustrating. And it even pisses me off more when he sits in a press conference and he grabs at the guy who asked him a question about it, and he throws his hands up and says, "I don't know. What do you want me to do? I don't know what to do." Well, this is
Yeah.
now the second time the head coach at the University of Arkansas sat in a press conference and said, "I don't know what to do." It's the
Mhm.
second time,
Yeah.
and that's not a good look.
Right. Yeah, every time that there's something like that, or he gets upset at them being like, "Well, I don't know what you want me to do." It's like I'm getting real Polar Express in the locker room vibes every time that something like that happens. And obviously, I'm referring to a couple years ago. It was rumored that Polar Express was
No,
playing,
there
and
was a video. It was not a rumor. It was a video of it.
yeah, but yeah, I get that's like my statement now in this era is I get Polar Express vibes when those things happen, or these another one score loss happens. That's my take on it. Is it's Polar Express vibes. So throughout the year, if these things continue to happen, that's my term for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and then he sits in that press conference and says something to the effect of, "Well, everybody in here thought we were going to score and win the game." He's like, "I thought we were going to score. Everybody thought." No, everybody I know on this planet knew something was going to go wrong. The people I was watching the game with, whether we scored, they were going to go down and kick a field goal to win it, or we were going to turn it over, or something bad was going to happen there. And it's the same thing I told my son in Omaha when we took the lead against LSU in Omaha. And this is a honest to God, hand on the Bible, true story. I looked at him. He's 8. And I said, "Parker, it looked like we were about to beat LSU." I said, "Let me tell you about being a Razorback fan." I said, "This is not going to go like it should." I said,
Right.
"Everything's not going to work out like it should. That's just how it goes." And at the time, there was nobody on base and like 1 or 2 outs. We were 1 out away from winning. And then what happens? The Golden Spikes winner doesn't turn the double play, the out left fielder who's never had an error hits off his forehead or whatever. I mean, you just can't make it up. And I
Yeah.
looked at my son Saturday night when we were on the 20-yard line with 2 minutes left with Taylor Green dicing him up looking like Johnny Manziel. I said, Parker, remember what I told you at Omaha? I said, this is not going to go like it should. And very next play. And
Mhm.
so for Sam to sit up there and be like, everybody knew we were going to score. Everybody in here thought, no, everybody thought this was going to go. We were going to hog. Hog's going to hog.
Yeah.
And we were going to blow this game in the most Razorback way possible. And it's just, and I hate to be, we're on game 3. And I hate to, that I'm just, it just feels like it's just the same story. Even though it's game 3, we've been watching it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating, man.
Yeah, it just
Soapbox over. Your
yeah,
turn.
yeah, I mean, you get they pull us in every single offseason, every single time that you start off 2-0, even though lesser competition, you're looking good. Taylor's got the most touchdowns in the country. Like you said, even after the loss, has the most offense in the country. You're getting excited. And it's just these same things just keep happening. And you're just like, you can't make excuses for it anymore. At some point, you just got to be like, look, it's this is happening, and it happens. And I feel like as a fan, in high school, college, early, even late 20s, like it would ruin my week. Like a game like that would ruin my
Oh
week.
yeah.
I would,
I wasn't even heartbroken Saturday night. I was
right.
so ready. I'm so numb to it.
Yeah.
I'm just so numb.
Yeah. I
And
think
then
you'd
our
say that.
athletic director is down in Little Rock at the Little Rock Touchdown Club telling everybody that we are not capable or ready or whatever word he used to win a national championship. I don't know. You may know the words he was using, but
Yeah.
telling the whole state that sorry guys, we're just not there. Our football program's not in a spot to compete for national titles. Now we are in every other sport, but not football. Okay. Once again, athletic director, how long you been here? Eight,
Yeah.
9 years. Whose fault is that? Don't
Yeah.
blame it on NIL. Don't blame it on money. You got all the Fortune 500 companies in here. They give money when they're excited about the product.
Right.
Lane Kiffin brought money to Ole Miss. They bought their whole team last year and Underage should have made the playoff because people were excited about the team, the program, the coach. There's nobody to blame. Quit blaming the Arkansas fans for not donating. They'll donate when they're excited about the product on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And forgive me if I mentioned this on one of the other pods, but yeah, and I think that's Arkansas fans' whole thing right now is being told that we should be happy with 7-5 or 6-6. And like we look at Ole Miss and Missouri. That's my biggest beef right now is that they hired Lane Kiffin and Eli the same year we hired Sam Pittman. They've had to deal with COVID, NIL, transfer portal the exact same way that we have. Only difference is they're relevant in the playoff discussion, winning games, still ranked in the playoff poll in November. Whereas for the last 3 seasons, 4 seasons, come November, we're already irrelevant and booking hotels and tickets in Memphis yet again. So yeah, it's the money's here. I know it. Basketball has proved that. And I think if you get people excited about, I just think people don't trust the process right now. And Saturday's just another proofs in the pudding of what has been the last 5.5 years under this
And
tenure.
let me be very clear. I think Sam's doing a fine job. He
Right.
came into the biggest disaster
Absolutely.
of a football program in the history of Arkansas football that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And he's got us in a respectable spot. I'm not calling for his head. I don't want to fire Sam Pittman. It's been 3 games. I'm
Right.
just tired of watching the same old thing over and over and over. And moving on, I'm going to play a clip. And Andrew, I want to get your thoughts on this clip. This is Sam Pittman today at his press conference, and I don't know. I just kind of want to get your thoughts on this.
Double move is obviously a concern. We're going to get that because it was successful for Ole Miss. Um, Lining up correct, and it's we've got to be better coaching. When you're checking to check, you can't make a guy travel. I mean, you just can't. And uh, we did that down there on the goal line. Guys were wide open, and so we've got to do better there. Now, our whole key this week to me is go back a little bit more of the second half. It's hard to read alignments, eyes. Obviously you watch tape for a reason, and it's about cut splits. It's about who's on, who's off. It's about all these things in the secondary. What routes? So if you're changing late, you don't have your mind can't calculate all the things that here's a key here, here's a key here. If you're just lining up before they say set hut, you're not getting all that pre-snap stuff that you need. And so we went a little bit in the second half. 173 yards is still a lot of yards, but it sure as hell wasn't what it was the first half. And 10 points is a lot different than 31. And so if we'll allow them play the play, make them make a play. A lot of times guys have a blitz over here, they'll check, you'll check blitz to the other side. Something very simple like that than trying to change the way that we're trying to cover them. And so I think as much problem as it was stopping them personnel wise, it was just as much problem of us getting in late calls and them not having an opportunity to calculate all the things that they learned through film study and practice.
Right off the bat, I don't know if you noticed, he talked about the double moves, then he
Mm-hmm.
paused for about 4 seconds. And I know what he's trying to do there. He's trying not to throw his defensive staff under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
But he paused and he came out and he said, we got to coach better, blah, 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 blah. And then he started getting into the schematics. And he said, we're calling in plays and not giving our guys time to read what's going on. We're late on our calls. We're checking too many checks. It sounds to me like he's not very happy with the defensive staff, and he's putting them on notice in front of the public. That's what I took out of that. Am I
Yeah.
overreacting to that? How did you read that?
No, yeah, I think you could read into that a little bit for sure. I think that, and even some of his, if you watch like his mannerisms in his eyes there, he was kind of like when he alluded to like stuff that you read and kind of like did a little pause with his eyes. I was like, dang, yeah, he might be kind of calling him out. And they might need that. There's been great coaches that have called their coordinators out before. And so that obviously is an embarrassing performance by the defense. And last year you didn't think it could get any worse than last year's game. And so you put up some terrible numbers again against a quarterback with no Division I SEC experience, other than a few snaps the week before at Kentucky. And yeah, I think you could definitely take it as him kind of maybe not taking a shot, but maybe just kind of putting them on notice in front of people, for sure. And I mean, I would expect nothing less than to come out full force on Saturday against Memphis, who should technically be a lesser opponent, although they're 3-0, and really put it to them. You better have a better performance, and get some confidence in those guys going into Notre Dame game.
Well, and a couple things. He's putting them on notice there, but then I find it very ironic, and I haven't seen this video clip, so I'm going to say this carefully, but there's a lot of reports down there at the Little Rock Touchdown Club that Hunter Yurachek said at the microphone that he has talked to Sam Pittman twice since the Ole Miss game on the phone about the defensive coaching staff. Now, why in the hell he would say that publicly is beyond me, Hunter Yurachek.
Yeah.
But when you see that press conference, And then if your check did indeed say that to Little Rock Touchdown Club publicly, and then there's a report, John Neighbors from Inside Arkansas, he was on the field after the game doing a TV shot, and he has a video of Sam and Hunter on the field when Sam was getting ready to film his post game show with Hogs Plus, and
Mhm.
he says he doesn't know what they were talking about, so read into it what you want. But Sam and Hunter were having a very heated discussion on the field, and I think John said he had a video of it, but he's not going to play it yet. He's not going to put it on his show yet. They could have been talking about who knows what, what their post game meal was in the locker room waiting on them. Who knows?
Yeah.
But there was a very heated conversation happening with voices raised, I think was his exact words,
Okay.
on the field. So it's not comforting in game 3 that we may be having, coaching drama. There was already reports of Bobby and T Will not getting along in the spring and in the fall camp, of them being at odds for who knows what. Um, we're only 3 games in, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think to the point of Hunter, if he did say that at the touchdown, I'll have to go back and watch that press conference. But uh, yeah, I think he's feeling it. I think he feels the tension a little bit too. I know there's people that haven't been happy with the way that he's handled some things, and I know that a lot of our other sports are doing fantastic under him, and you can applaud him for that. But football's your driving force, and that's, you know, this fan base would trade every track national championship or any other sport for one football national championship. And so, yeah, I think he's starting to feel it a little bit. And so, he's probably trying to maybe cover his tracks a little bit, saying that, well, if he did say that I'm doing something to try to get this football team in shape. And so, yeah, I mean, look,
Well, and
I'm all
he
it's gonna
he
help
puts his foot in his mouth a lot, Hunter does. He says
for sure.
things, and I mean, I'm glad our athletic program's doing well, all of our non-revenue sports. That's awesome. But it just gets on my nerves when he goes around talking about, you know, oh, this past year Arkansas won 15 SEC championships in our sports. Oh, Missouri won 0. Dude, quit trying to pity with us with Missouri beating us 5 out of 6 years in football. We
Yeah.
don't care what Missouri's doing in volleyball and tennis. We don't care. And so just quit with the talking points. I mean, I'm just over that. Um Anyways, we'll get into our position grades here in just a few minutes. We'll break down every position. Uh it's going to be interesting. We've hammered a lot home already about this game. Is there anything else that you think we need to hit on before we move on?
No, I think we've covered, and we'll get into some more at position grades. But yeah, it's just disappointing to already be 3 games in it and to have a loss like that. Which I will say, to not to their credit, but just a lot of us had us at 2-1 right
Oh
here in
yeah.
the season. It's just the way it happened. So you do still have the whole season in front of you. You could still achieve everything you were trying to achieve, but clearly you were exposed in some areas and you need to make some adjustments and make them quick. Because, like I said, what I saw on Saturday is a 4-win defense. And
Yeah.
so you got to make some
The
changes.
frustrating thing is, yeah, we all had us 2-1 after the Ole Miss game, but when we got to Ole Miss week, we both had us winning the game because
Hmm.
there was reports about a backup quarterback playing, and then the way it played out like it did, you felt like there was some momentum after that A State game, and then
Right.
before our game Saturday, A State should have beat Iowa State, who's in the top 15 in the country. They
Right.
should have beat them. They got screwed on a couple calls,
Yep.
and you're sitting here like, maybe we are pretty good. Maybe there's a path to 8-4. Maybe there's a path to 9-3. Well, the
Right.
path to 9-3, you had to win that game to get on that path to 9-3.
For sure.
And so that's what's frustrating. Anyway, so we'll move on. Hot seats. I'll let you go first. Give me something hot, hot.
All right. I don't know how hot this is, but can we just stop with the sideline gimmicks? Like Miami had the turnover chain a while back. I actually don't hate Ole Miss's little basketball thing, other than the freaking basketball rolling onto the field during the game.
Yeah, that's what
But
that's mine.
but Arkansas has like a Walmart WWE belt that if you make a play, you get to like put it on your shoulder. I'm like, are these
Their
guys?
bet was there anybody wearing it? Do we have somebody wear it this Saturday?
Well, the offensive guys.
Okay,
Uh,
I was about to lose it.
I don't know if defense has the same thing. I haven't been paying attention on the defensive side to see if they do it, but I saw them break it out at the first home game, Alabama A&M. You know, you see somebody make a play and have this belt on their thing. And I'm like, it's a WWE belt from Walmart. I'm like, come on. Are these guys' egos that fragile that they gotta, oh, I made a 15-yard touchdown against Alabama A&M. Give me the belt, man. Like, I don't know. To me, it's lame. Maybe that's me being on the downhill to 40. But to me, it just feels lame and dumb. And there are some cool ones around the country. There's people that tie it into kind of some of their traditions and stuff. But I don't know. I'm kind of over the sideline gimmicks. Let's go out and let's just hit somebody and make plays because you're there to win a game and take care of business.
That'd be nice. Yeah. So my first hot seat is SEC officials. Um, I'm going to go on the record. Public service announcement. Don't be getting in my mentions. Don't be getting on the Never Yield chat saying I'm blaming the officials for the loss. I am not blaming the officials for the loss of this game, but they had a rough night on both sides. I thought the first PI was questionable. There was a little hand fighting on the back arm. Whatever. Home field cooking. Fourth down. That was a big play in the game. Then later in the game, Omega Blake down the middle, Taylor underthrew the pass a little bit, but there was clearly contact. There was a big third down that play, I think, late in the game. There was clearly contact there. No call. The leaping play on the field goal was obvious. There was a
Mm,
leverage play. I mean, obvious. The Denver Broncos lost the game on the exact same call yesterday in the NFL.
yep.
They missed that. And the one, there were several. I mean, Corey Robinson false started like crazy on one of our touchdown passes, and they didn't call anything.
Yeah.
The one that drives me the most nuts, though, is the basketball rolling on the field. And we just pick it up and we throw it into Lane's little cute little hoop he made so we can get some clicks on Twitter. Dude, that is a celebration, first of all, on the sideline. If that is not a delay of game for a celebration or a
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever.
Yeah.
That's got to be a penalty when the basketball. What if we would have thrown our WWE belt? What if we just threw it in the middle of the field?
We
I
should
mean,
next.
is that what we do now? We don't get penalized for it. So the
Yeah.
basketball comes rolling on the field after he misses the dunk, after they score a touchdown. We have to blow the whole play dead, and everybody just laughs about it. This isn't 9-year-old football, two-hand touch.
Right.
Okay, this is SEC football. Why are we not throwing flags for delay of game, a sportsmanlike conduct, something ridiculous? SEC officials, you are on the freaking hot seat.
Yep. No, I totally agree with that for sure. My last one is I'm putting me on the hot seat.
Ooh,
My fantasy team is 0-2. I'm I'm in I'm starting
trash.
off in great jeopardy of playing in this golf tournament and thoroughly embarrassing myself. So
That's awesome. We'll have to get a couple practice rounds in together. I'll get you in good
yes,
shape.
yes, I need to, and maybe talk my wife into some new clubs. We're
Yeah,
working on that conversation.
there you go. My second hot seat is our boy, our favorite man, the myth, the legend, Brian Kelly. Oh, baby. We love some
You're
Brian
good
Kelly
now.
on this podcast. I know he wins a lot of football games, and I know they always say, well, you hate him if you ain't got him, and you love him if he's yours. I don't think with Brian Kelly that's the case. I
No,
think I would hate his guts if he was our coach.
no.
But anyways, I'm going to play a little video
Okay.
of Brian Kelly's press conference after the Florida game. So they beat Florida in an ugly game, and he gets asked a question, the very first question that he gets asked. And so I want you to.
Brian in the back. I know you love these immediate post game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game, won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball. Quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Dude, is there a more punchable human being? What a jackass, dude. Oh my God. Is there a more just hated, self-entitled, just, oh my gosh, I just can't. I want to just punch him in the face.
Yeah, I mean, how insecure are we, guys? I mean, it was the simplest question. Like, can you just run us through what you're seeing on offense, and then just freak out? Let me just freak out on this dude. Yeah, talk about insecure coach that isn't. I mean, if you're truly happy with what you saw on the field, you don't react that way. So clearly,
Exactly. Yeah.
clearly the guy was on.
And it's a trending theme. I always hate on Shane Beamer too. He got very defensive at his press conference. You are making how many millions of dollars? You get to coach football for a living. Dude, you can't answer a question?
Right.
If we're not here. The media is not here to cater to you, to make you, to pat your back all the time and spoon feed you to make you look like you're the best coach in the world. They're here to ask you tough questions, to get clicks on their stories. It's unbelievable how entitled all these head football coaches think they are. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
And it starts, and there's a bunch of them. It's not just Brian Kelly. He just sounds the stupidest when he does it, and he's just an idiot. But man, just get over the entitlement that these guys think, oh, I'm the head football coach. You don't get to ask me any question you want. You ask the questions that I want you to ask. Get out of here with that BS.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this. He would probably be at the top of our list of even if he was on our sideline. I don't think I could like the guy.
I wouldn't.
If he won 9+ games 3 years in a row, you wouldn't enjoy him on the sideline?
Nope, not a chance.
Same.
Not a chance.
Same.
I can do there's a bunch of controversial coaches. Eric Musselman, opposing teams hated Eric Musselman.
Yeah.
When he take his shirt off, he's a perfect figure for someone that you hate if you're playing against him, but you love him if he's yours.
Right.
And I could do that to a lot of coaches. Lane Kiffin. I mean, he's throwing up deuce signs to the camera, like in the middle of a TV interview during the game. I mean, once again, he just gets on your nerves when he's not yours, but you love him if he's yours.
Right.
Brian Kelly, 0% chance.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I could tolerate him on our sideline. Not that we think that he would ever come here, but just throwing it out there in theory.
Well, winning can cure a lot.
Mm-hmm.
winning can't cure having to watch that guy in Razorback red just kick me square in the whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
That
right.
might be the time that I actually considered switching some fandom and maybe relieving myself of some pain, but we'll
That's right.
cross that imaginary bridge when we come to it.
All right, my first shout out. I'm gonna be short and quick with this one, man. Clark Lee at Vandy.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got Vandy 3-0. Win over Virginia Tech doesn't look so good now. They got smoked by Old Dominion. But big win over Virginia Tech. Going into South Carolina, laying the hammer on South Carolina. I know Lenore Sellers got banged up, but man, anybody, you know how many people have thought they could go into Vandy and win and turn that thing around and have failed miserably? There's been two that I know of, James Franklin and Clark Lee.
Yep.
And so for you to be able to go into the doormat of the SEC and build a respectable product, bravo to you, Clark Lee. And I hope I love like the chanting SEC at bowl games, SEC. I love that. But there's very few of them actually like can root for.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I want to see Vandy do well. I want to see Vandy win games. So
yeah,
good. First shout out is Clark Lee. I hope they win. I hope they go undefeated this year because we don't play.
Dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine
It'd be
Vanderbilt
awesome.
undefeated in the playoff, #1 in the country, SEC champion Vanderbilt?
All right. That could be our new allegiance. If we hire Brian Kelly, we may just go to Nashville. Hey, Nashville's not too far.
That's not. It's not. It's a fun town. Fun town. All right. My shout out. It's a little selfish, not even sports related, but I'm in the real estate world. Interest rates are the lowest they've been in 2 years. That's a huge effect to my job personally, and I'm about to buy a house later this year. So that's my shout out. I couldn't be more thrilled that they're heading in the right direction, just because it's been rough out there for the home buyer for the last 2 years. So we're heading in the right direction. So I'm extremely happy about it.
Hit up our boy at the Never Yield Pod if you're looking for a house, Andrew Drake.
Hey.
Look at that pretty face. Who wouldn't want that face representing them at the negotiating table?
You know, don't you want this face in your yard? I'll put it out there. We can make it happen.
Good shout out. Go buy a house. Okay, we'll move on to our position grades. This is always a fun, interesting conversation that we have every Tuesday here on the Never Yield Pod. So we will pull these up and fire away on our position grades. All right, I will go first. This is probably, for when I was topping these in, we have some of the biggest gaps we've had all year yet in our position grades. So I'm ready to get at you a little bit for your hating on my boy Taylor Green. First of all, I went with an A- at the quarterback position. Outside the thing he still struggles with the most is the deep ball touch.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of his deep ball touch, he missed Omega. I think it was Omega. He overthrew him in the end zone one time, 30, 40-yard pass, and then he underthrew him just a hair. Even though there was PI, if he wouldn't have underthrown it, it probably would have also been a touchdown. But his reads he's making on his intermediate passes, his short passes, getting the ball out, avoiding pressure, the first quarterback in the history of Arkansas to throw for 300, rush for 100. Just backpacked us in that game. I'm scared to death. I think I know they're calling the read option. He's keeping it a lot. He's taking what the defense gives. When the defensive end crashes down, he's pulling and going. But I don't like seeing him lead us in carries and lead us in rush yards. But man, I said I was going to wait till the Ole Miss game before I was like all in. Like, can you do it? Dude, I'm quickly becoming a huge Taylor Green guy. And I'll vouch for him on the national stage now. He's leading the nation in total yards. I'm just couldn't be happier than he is, or happier than I am with him. So I gave him an A-. I don't know what else he could really do besides hit one or two of those deep balls. He may have got lucky on one or two passes where they could have been intercepted, but they weren't. So bravo to you, Talon, for putting us on your back and just trying to will us to a victory, brother. I hate it for him. Yeah, I absolutely hate it for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I went, I know you're going to criticize me. I went B plus, and I had, just a couple of those throws, a couple of the reads. There was a couple of the read options where he kept it, which he was hot. I mean, and and they were closing in on him there in the second half for sure. But yeah, and then the interception that we got saved by the penalty. I don't think the penalty had anything to do with the throw, but yeah, just a couple things. But I mean, obviously, I'm nitpicking at the quarterback. He had a great game. He had us in position to win there at the end if we don't fumble. If we don't fumble, I have every intent to believe that we'd have made it happen and we'd have scored. But yeah, so I was a little critical, went B plus, but I mean overall, I'm extremely happy with his play through 3 weeks. I'm not at all disappointed. I'm not saying that I would want a different quarterback on our team. I'm very very happy with his play so far. He's definitely improved over last year, which is the main thing I wanted to see. So excited about going forward. I think we're going to be able to put up some points when we need to, and clearly we're going to need to the rest of the way.
Yeah. Moving on to running back. I'll go first on this one. I gave him a B plus. I thought they were good. Obviously the one that Mike Washington broke. He looked really good, looked quick, made a nice cutback. I did see that Sam said today that Ole Miss just was completely lined up wrong, and it was really an easy touchdown for us. But he only had 12 carries for 18 yards outside of that one. That's a yard and a half a carry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still fairly concerned. Braylon runs hard. I mean, I love watching Braylon run. He's going to get 3-4. He's going to be that big bruiser that gets in the end zone and the goal line stuff, gets us a first down on 4th and 1 or whatever. Out of the backfield, I thought Mike Washington looked very good catching the ball. I just, 12 carries for 18 yards outside the big run. I just have trouble giving him too good of a grade. I know I'm still not convinced. I did see the PFF scores for our offensive line. Obviously, he has to have holes to run through, but our pass blocking grades on PFF were way higher than our run blocking grades for our offensive linemen. So they're not just clearing the way for him. But I think they're doing fine. I think they're solid. B plus is a good grade. I just can't quite get to the next level yet with our running backs.
Yeah, I went ahead and gave him an A for this week. They were my highest offensive position grade. I think we're using them too little right now, and like you alluded to, the offensive line isn't opening up like crazy big holes, and I do think that Mike Washington isn't seeing the correct lane on his first read. A lot of times he's not making that first guy miss. Like, very happy with Braylon Russell. He is making that first guy miss every time and getting, the yards that we need when he's in there. But I thought Saturday, with the opportunities given, they did for the most part what they needed to do. And so I went ahead and gave them an A. I would like to see in the future, I'd really like to see it Saturday against Memphis. Technically a lesser opponent. I would like to see us really establish the ground game. I think we've seen that Talon can make plays, and I mean, obviously we're going to throw the ball around on Saturday as well. But yeah, I'd really like to see us establish the run game. Let me see some holes opened up by the offensive line. Let me see Mike Washington make the right reads of what hole he needs to hit and when to hit it. And but yeah, I gave him an A just because I think in limited opportunities they did what we needed them to do.
So just clarifying, you think our running backs had a better day than Taylor Green?
With limited opportunity. Look, Taylor's out there touching the ball every play, and
I'm just
It's
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was just wondering.
on the quarterback. We had 2 drives. We had to punt. So,
Okay. Wide receiver, I'll let you go first.
Okay. I went B. For the most part, they had a good game. I obviously the receiving core was who gave up the fumble there at the end. So I'm going to knock them a pinch for that. Hang on to the ball, Petey. But yeah, I think overall they had a pretty good game. I think we had minimal drops. I think Jaylen Brown had a couple drops. I can't remember. CJ had one, but
Yeah, I think CJ may have 2.
yeah. So a few drops, which I mean, again, first true road game, first SEC opponent. There's a lot of that in there, but we're gonna need to see just some slight improvement, and hopefully as the season goes along, we'll see a little more rhythm and in syncness there. So
Yeah, this has been such a big question mark, for the fans and even the coaching staff, with it being such a new room. But I gave them an A-, man. I just feel like they're catching a lot. They're better than I thought they'd be. Omega Blake is clearly a dude.
yeah,
Like he's not only Taylor's number one target. Like I think he's one of the best receivers if in the SEC, if not the country. He's just open all the time. He makes tough catches. There was one play in the third quarter, maybe. It was third down, maybe it's fourth quarter, but Taylor stepped up in the pocket and he hit Omega across the middle, and he was just covered like a blanket. And the
mm-hmm.
throw was probably better than the catch, but that was just the big time plays you have to make on the road in the SEC, to win those games. But yeah, man, again, the tight ends involved. Jaden Platt obviously had the first catch of the game, and Taylor found him a couple times, and Rohan Jones had a big 21-yard catch. So yeah, I've been more than pleased. I'm happy with where they're at. But I don't know how much of it is how good they are compared to the Bobby Petrino system.
Yep.
Some of them little small guys, they fit Petrino's crossing routes and all that. Just he makes it so easy for Taylor, I feel, to just, hey, it's gonna be here and then here, and one of these two will be open, and he just puts it on a platter for these guys. So, but I'm excited about our wide receiver room. I think it's far better than last year.
Yeah,
because we didn't necessarily use Isaac Tesla like we should have.
Yes.
But yeah, A- for the wide receivers. I went A- for the offensive line. Man, Taylor I don't think he got knocked down in the backfield. I don't think he got touched. And a lot of that may have been because Ole Miss was dropping 7, dropping 8 in the coverage. But, I don't think he got knocked down. And he just had all day to throw on most occasions. When they did bring the blitzes, they held him off long enough to where he could find the quick hot routes or he could scramble out of it. Now, run blocking, gotta get better.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was at an A, maybe even an A+ for keeping our quarterback off his rear end. And that's where I came up with the A- was because I docked him a point or two for their run block and just being okay. And maybe I'm just really excited about them because they've been so bad the last couple of years, embarrassingly bad. So maybe I'm being a little optimistic, and I'm just really excited to have a competent, capable offensive line.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they keep it up the rest of the way. I was probably a little harsh on them too. I went a B, mostly because of the run blocking. I'd like to see some more holes open up. I'd like to see some more dynamic plays in the run game, design run plays. I know Taylor had several that were freelance, and there was a couple times where Taylor had to reverse and get out of the pocket where the defensive lineman or a linebacker did get to the second level there in the backfield at Taylor. They didn't get him. Luckily, his feet kept him out of there. But yeah, so I'm probably a little harsh, but I am overall. We are much improved on the offensive line. There's no doubt about that. Happy to see that we are night and day better than the last 2 years on the offensive line. So I gave him a B, and then rounding out total offense, I gave us a B+. probably should have probably been an A-, but I went B+.
Yeah, I went with an A- just because 3 possessions, 4 possessions, we didn't score the whole game. We had 2 field goal misses, which technically means the offense got us in field goal position. And then we had 1 punt, I think just 1 punt, and then obviously the fumble late in the game. But yeah, I mean, you know, 29 first downs, 526 yards of total offense. Tatum went for 305 and then 115 on the ground. I mean, you know, the one turnover
Yep.
gets you.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, as long as their offense stays where they're at, they keep getting better. I think we'll be in every game and just continue just praying for that one defensive stop to give us a
Yes.
chance. All right, let's have some fun. Defensive line. I'll go first on D line. I gave him a C. Did Cam Ball's name get mentioned all night?
Dude, I was literally thinking that about the third or fourth quarter. I was like, I'm seeing him on the field, but I'm not seeing him make a play. So I don't know if he was getting double teamed a lot. I haven't gone back to
I'm
really
sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm
get
sure he does. I think he had 2 or 3 tackles, and as a D lineman, you're not. But I just don't feel like he's causing havoc in there. And maybe it is because he's getting double teamed. I get it. That's football. That's scheme. I just don't feel like the quarterback run game kept getting us over and over and over. And defense can be tough because there's obviously 3 levels of defense. It's not just a D line's job to stop the run or whatever. But man, I just don't feel like the reason we're having to bring so many blitzes and leave our defensive backs on islands is because our D line can't get pressure.
Mhm.
That's the whole reason our D backs are getting left on the island as much as they are is because our D line can't get pressure.
Yeah.
And so, we did a pretty good job on the running back, the Lacey kid. I think he averaged 2.5 yards a carry. It was really the quarterback run game and then just not getting enough pressure in the passing game. And so I feel like they were the best group on the field of the
Yeah.
defense, but they just they gotta be more of a presence, causing havoc. That doesn't mean getting sacks. I don't think we had a defensive lineman get a sack, but just getting quarterback hurries. Just pushing the quarterback off a spot. We're not doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I went C as well. And the reason it was higher than what I'm going to give the rest of the defense is they did do a pretty good job against the run. We were stuffing the run on design running plays with the running back. But yeah, we're not getting pressure in the backfield. And even when we brought 6 or 7 with the linebackers, we still weren't getting to a brand new quarterback. And so yeah, it was frustrating for sure. But I think they did pretty good stuff in the run overall. But yeah, I went C. Linebackers, I went D. Again, I saw several times where they're just out of place. Even when we brought pressure with them, they couldn't get to the quarterback. And yeah, just obviously overall defense was just frustrating all day. But I went D on linebackers.
Yeah, I went D minus. Man, I love Xavier Sorey, but he
Mhm.
just kind of it's like he just kind of shows up one game and one game he doesn't. And
Right,
your best player on defense can't do that.
right.
Like, and he missed some bad open field tackles, and we look slow. Our linebackers look slow.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think Ole Miss is that much more athletic, than what we'll see from everybody else in the SEC. But they were getting lost in coverage. How many times did a running back get out in the flat or on a swing or on a wheel route and
Mhm.
just did we not even have a linebacker in the picture?
Right.
And they're confused schematically, they're confused on their assignments. Either they're slow or they're playing timid because they don't know what they're doing or where they're supposed to be. You heard Sam talking that presser earlier about how, there's too many checks. Defense is doing too many checks. Maybe that's why they look slow, but they look in
Mhm.
quicksand. And
Yeah.
so Your linebackers got to be able to get side to side. They got to be able to have great angles on fast running backs, fast receivers, quarterbacks, and I don't feel like that's what we're getting right now from our linebacker room, and it's
Yeah,
very frustrating because that was the one defensive position we were like, we're good.
right.
So
Yeah, and it's frustrating too because we've had good defenses in the past where we didn't have the fastest or the biggest guys at
Grant
linebacker.
Morgan, bumper pull.
Yeah,
I
go back
mean,
to like
Sam
Tony,
Olajubutu.
yeah, Caleb Miller, Sam Alajabutu, that's my guy. Uh, that's my Houston, my Sam Alajabutu out of LaGrange, Georgia. But yeah,
That's so
we've
good.
had great linebackers in the past that weren't the biggest or the fastest, but they knew how to pursue the ball and know what position to be in and where to be and not get out of position. Like I just feel like these guys are all over the field and they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so yeah, we got to get that
Mm,
tuned up pretty quick.
frustrating. Frustrating. All right, I'll let you go first on the defensive backs.
Yeah, I went D minus. I could have gone worse, but uh yeah, I went D minus. It was it was so frustrating, and obviously you're only one that's played halfway decent. Walker goes down, and I haven't heard if he's going to be okay for this week or not. But we need him. We need him back for sure, just because nobody else is doing anything back there. You got a guy that literally can't even walk come in, literally on one leg, runs for 9 yards, and then throws a touchdown to a guy in the back of the end zone in the end zone with no one within 10 yards. The end zone is 10 yards. So where are we at? Like, and I saw that play too. I saw Neal was the one that should have had him. He comes in, nobody covers the backside. And so I was like, that when we lined up for that play, I was like, we don't look I was like, I don't think
Lost.
that
We were
we're in the right,
scrambling. Yeah.
yeah, we're not in the right position here. And so yeah, I could have gone worse, but I went D minus.
Yeah, there's something going on. Like, I don't think they're very good. I said that before the year started. I just don't think they're SEC caliber defensive backs. They were all second string or part-time starters or lost their job at their previous school. So I don't think they're very good. And the message from the defensive staff is not resonating. The game plan, the scheme, whatever, it's not clicking with them because they're lost all the time. So when you're not very talented and you don't know where the hell you're supposed to be, that's a recipe for disaster. And it can't happen in game 3. I mean,
Right.
first SEC game, this is not game 1. We saw it
Right.
in game 1 too on the very first drive, It's just it's abysmal, and I don't know how it's gonna get better. I know they're wanting to do a lot of man free and play man, and I mean, you're gonna have to start playing some zone with these guys because they can't if how many catches from these receivers were contested?
Right.
Very few.
Very
I mean,
few.
they were throwing to wide open people, and we can't tackle. If we were getting PIs, we're holding people. I mean, it's just a disaster. It's
Yeah.
a Chinese fire drill out there, and it just and we weren't. Who would have thought we would all want Hudson Clark back? Who would have thought we'd all want Danico Slaughter, who got just torched at Oklahoma State last year? We
Yeah.
would do anything to have Hud Allen back. We would do
Yeah.
anything to have Cuddy Robinson back. TJ Metcalf was pretty dang good. He went to Michigan.
I
But,
know.
our secondary last year wasn't any good. Our secondary
Right.
last year was bad. And they would all be starting this year. Like we just severely downgraded in the portal, it in the defensive backfield, and I don't I'm not giving up on them yet, but boy, they got a long way to go, and they better get there in a hurry.
Yeah. Do you think T Will moves up to the box here in the next couple weeks?
I don't I don't know. We got Darren Woodson, Marcus Woodson. I don't remember what our secondary guy, and
Yeah, the guy from Bama.
He
He played.
yeah, he may be up there. They need to get somebody up there because I don't know who they have up there right now, but they need some kinda eyes in the sky of people they can trust,
Mhm.
and it's just the worst thing the worst thing I remember seeing. I can't vividly remember how bad our defenses were under Chad Morris, but our secondary specifically couldn't have been much worse than what we witnessed Saturday night.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I just feel like I know Bobby moved up to the box, but
mhm.
I feel like defense coordinator is even more important to be up in the box than the offense coordinator. I feel like I just feel like he needs to be up there, and he's been in the box in the past, right? Like
No, Barry Odom was when he was the defense coordinator. Barry Odom was in the box.
I could have swore he was.
T-Will's just such a high energy guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he wants to be down there jumping around and chest bumping
Well,
and I mean that's
let's chest bump
but
after not giving up 31 points and a half. Let's do that.
yeah, I agree. Anyways, I gave the D-backs an F. I feel like I just don't think it could get any worse. So I gave him an F. I don't know if it could get any worse. So I gave him an F. Defense, I gave a D minus overall, and that's being nice. Once again, not only did we give up 31 and a half and 41 to a game, that's not very good, but it was to a backup quarterback.
Right.
I don't care how good everybody thinks he is. I don't care. I don't care. Like, it can't happen to a backup quarterback. It just can't happen. So I gave him a D minus. You know, and that's being nice.
Yeah. I went D for the sole reason that I think on two crucial drives you made stops when you had to. One, the opening drive of the second half, you killed any possible momentum they could have had 3 and out. So you made a halftime adjustment on one possession, and then you stopped them there at the end when you had to get the ball back and give yourself a chance to win the game. As bad as we talked about them, they did do that. Now we didn't capitalize on it, but other than the fumble, I think we would have scored if we didn't fumble. But anyway, I went D. I could have gone less, obviously, but those two stops, you did make two stops at crucial points when you needed to, and so that's the only reason I didn't go D minus or even lower. So
And then on special teams, I went D plus. This is 2 games in a row. Special teams have not gotten great grades. I think Scott Starzik's going to be a fine kicker. Uh,
mhm.
I mean, I have no problem trotting him out for the next one. I think he's going to be one of the best kickers in the country here in a year or two. He's a true freshman. But, he did go 0 for 2 on field goals. Um, you know, I don't know where really else there is to talk about. If we had the one punt return we had, I think Cam Shanks, he lost -2 yards.
Yeah,
And so we're not making plays on special teams.
yeah. Yeah, I went D on special teams. Just obviously the two missed field goals was literally the difference in the game. That second one he didn't miss by much, but obviously still missed it. So I agree. I think he'll be fine in the long run. I'm fine trotting him out there the rest of the year. So I went D, a little harsh, but
Nope, not at all.
you got one job as a kicker, make your kicks. So I know
Yep.
you're a freshman. Let's figure it out. There's your two. There's your two for the year. Make them the rest of the way.
Yeah, so the last thing I'm gonna say about this game is I just I'm not okay with mediocrity. I'm not doing moral victories in year 6 of a coach's tenure. I'm frustrated we got beat. Um, everybody's gonna listen to the pod and be like, God, he was harsh on him. No, I'm not, because it's not a new year. It's not a new
Right.
year to me. It's a continuation of what we've seen over the past, and it's just the same old thing.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, they got to regroup. They got to get it right. Memphis is a prime letdown spot. Going to Memphis, you have the big SEC prime time. You know, on the mothership ESPN 6 o'clock night game, and this is a prime spot to walk in because you're playing a non-conference team. Now, anybody with a brain knows that Memphis ain't no joke. They're 3-0. They're receiving votes in the top 25. We're a 7-point favorite. The lines came out today. We're a 7-point favorite down there. But you just hope, you hope you go down there and not only get a win, but, see improvement on the defensive side of the ball, come out healthy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need anything crazy to happen before Notre Dame. And I think if they go in and have a good showing, if this defense can just show signs of getting better, just baby steps, as a former
Yeah.
coach, it's just you keep stacking bricks and just try to get a little bit better every day. So they gotta go to work this week and regroup and get out there and go take care of business.
Yeah. No, for sure. Let's just put this one behind us. Like I said, the good thing about this is that all your goals are still achievable. They're still in front of you. You hate the way that it happened and with the results and then with the circumstances of playing a backup quarterback. But to start the year, not a lot of people had you 3-0 after 3 weeks. So a lot of your goals are still attainable. Let's make improvements. Let's shape up that defense, Yost, and let's get it back together. And then let's go down to Memphis. So stadium you're obviously familiar with playing the last 3-4 years. So let's make it our home away from home. Play well. Let's get out of there healthy. Move on to Notre Dame. Hopefully at 3-1, and bring some excitement back before the bye week, and then the gauntlet starts after the bye week. But let's go down there and let's take care
With
of
all
it.
the stuff we talked about with the, Sam obviously lighting a fire under the coach's rear end in the press conference, the defensive staff, and then Hunter saying that at the touchdown club about the defensive staff. And if it doesn't get any better Saturday, say we win the game 42-35. We cover the spread. Say the spread gets down to 6.5. We cover, win by a touchdown, win 42-35. What do you think? You think there's a chance that whether it's T Will or whether it's a defensive position coach, second, think there's a chance that there's someone's heads on the chopping block, or you think we just keep on going? What do you think?
I think it comes down to the eye test. I know winning by 7 points, cover the spread. I think it's how it looks. There's obviously been games like playing by Petrino when he was at Missouri State, when he came to Fayetteville, like that was a struggle win, and they moved the ball on us and put it on us. So let's see how it plays out. Like it's winning by 7. There's a lot of variables that could happen there. Are we turning the ball over on offense? Are we doing stupid stuff on special teams? Or how does it look? But to answer your question, if it's like they're just moving the ball down our throat, we're not able to stop them, they're throwing the ball everywhere, we're still not in position, those kind of things, I think there's a possibility you see some kind of change. I think T Will's done enough in his tenure here to give him a shot to continue. Now if we get to the Texas game or LSU game and we're like bottom 10 defensively, then I think there's probably bigger fish to fry. There's probably an entire coaching change at the end of the year. So I don't know I don't know who you turn to make it any better if by, let's just say the bye week our defense is looking bad. I don't know who you turn it over to, honestly. So I don't think we just have that name on the defensive staff, which is probably part of the problem. To who you'd be confident being like, all right, well, take over and let's see if you can do better. So
I just throwing it out there, just a hypothetical. I mean,
yeah,
we'll see. I'll make a prediction that by the bye week, somebody will be unemployed in the defensive staff at the University of Arkansas. And I hope it's not T Will. I like T Will. So hopefully, and I think we'll be better. I just want to see us get lined up right. I want to see us get lined up right and fly around to the ball, not loafing because we don't know where we're supposed to. Like, I just want to see us flying around knocking heads.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, make it because you were going too hard, not because you weren't in the right position.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
anyways, yeah. So Memphis on Saturday. The next pod will drop on Friday morning. We appreciate all of our listeners. I'm going to ask a huge favor. So we wanted to do a post-game live reaction on YouTube, not a podcast, but a live reaction Saturday night after the game. But we found out you have to have 100 subscribers before you can go live on YouTube. So challenge to all of our current subscribers. We get about 5 to 6x the views on our videos as compared to our subscribers on YouTube. So if you are watching us on YouTube, please just hit that subscribe button, because if you think we were harsh today, you should see us on the live post game right after the fourth quarter gets done. And so you want some pure entertainment, some hot takes. Let's get that YouTube page up to 100 subscribers. So just tell a friend about us. Tell your family members, even if they don't want to listen. Just go hit the subscribe button, and so that way we can try to bring y'all some more content, live raw reaction after some games. Anyways, tell a friend. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok pages created. I will have content on TikTok this week, and Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. And go Hogs. Andrew, take us home.
All right. Stay classy. Never yield. Go Hogs.
Woo pig.